ভদ্ৰা এছ একাডেমিলৈ আপোনালোক সকলোকে স্বাগতম জনাইছোঁ। আশা কৰিছোঁ আপোনালোকৰ প্ৰিপেৰেশ্যন বহুত ভালদৰে চলি আছে আৰু আপোনালোকে আমাৰ এই মক টেষ্ট ছিৰিজত এনৰলমেণ্ট কৰি পেলাই আপোনালোকে নিজকে টেষ্ট কৰিব পাৰে। তো আমি ভদ্ৰা এছ একাডেমিৰ ফালৰ পৰা আপোনালোকৰ কাৰণে এখন চিম্পল মক টেষ্ট পেপাৰ আপোনালোকৰ আগত প্ৰেজেণ্ট কৰিছোঁ। আশা কৰিছোঁ এই মক টেষ্ট পেপাৰখনে আপোনালোক সকলোকে লাভান্বিত কৰিব।
Guys, welcome to Bhadra IAS Academy. Today we are here to discuss about few questions regarding the mock test we are conducting for the students, and this will be conducted very soon for various kind of subjects. Especially our pattern of taking mock test is according to the sectional, full length paper, then Assam related questions, including current affair based questions. So for sectional questions, you guys will be getting like 5 papers. There you will be getting the set of different topics of different subjects, so that your preparation can be easily analyzed by you guys. Second, we will be having 3 full length paper where you will be conducting, where you will be appearing for whole paper syllabus, okay, so that you can understand where in which position you guys are lying right now after the preparation, so that it will be comfortable for you in the next paper, in real paper. Okay, right after these 3 full length papers, we will be having like 2 APSC exams. APS means Assam related questions for Assam geography, Assam economics, Assam history, Assam polity, geopolitics, everything. So that we have tried कि स्टूडेंट्स को हर तरह के क्वेश्चंस मिल सकें, ताकि उन्हें आने वाले समय में कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो उससे रिलेटेड। उसके बाद करंट अफेयर्स का मॉक टेस्ट, जो कि 2 हिस्सों में बटा होगा, और दोनों पेपर्स आपके फुल लेंथ करंट अफेयर्स बेस्ड होंगे। आई होप यू गाइज अंडरस्टूड इट। सो अगर आप लोग देना चाहते हैं तो बिल्कुल आप कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट में, भद्रा IAS अकेडमी में। द नंबर इज़ बीन गिवन एंड यू कैन डायरेक्टली कांटेक्ट ऑनलाइन। ऑलराइट गाइस, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस वी ऑल्सो हैव 29 years क्वेश्चन पेपर ऑफ UPSC, स्पेशली बिकॉज हम लोगों को पता है कि APSC ने अपना सिलेबस पैटर्न बदल दिया है। सो मोस्ट प्रोबेबली वी आर प्रिडिक्टिंग दैट आप लोगों को जो क्वेश्चंस बनेंगे वो काफ़ी हद तक UPSC लेवल के या UPSC के तरीके के बन सकते हैं, क्योंकि ये फ़र्स्ट टाइम पेपर है। सो इस पेपर को अगर आप मेहनत से प्रैक्टिस करते हैं तो डेफिनेटली इट विल बी वेरी मच हेल्पफुल फॉर यू। आप लोगों के लिए काफ़ी हेल्पफुल होगा ये चीज़। ऑलराइट, सो go ahead and you can contact us. So today we are discussing about certain MCQs जो हम लोगों ने MCQs बनाए हैं आपके मॉक टेस्ट के लिए, ताकि आप उसे अपीयर कर सकें, उसे डिसाइड कर सकें कि किस तरह का MCQ है, आप किस तरह से उसको प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं। हम लोग आज ज्योग्राफी MCQs की बात करेंगे और जिस तरह के क्वेश्चंस आपको हमारे मॉक टेस्ट में भी मिलेंगे। सो विदाउट एनी फर्दर डिले, let's discuss one by one the few questions of geography that can be asked, and the pattern भी आपको समझ में आएगा कि prelims में किस तरह का pattern वो follow कर सकते हैं। We have very much like analyzed all the patterns of the UPSC including APSC, so that we came into conclusion कि इस तरह का pattern बन सकता है। तो आप लोग इसको attempt करके देखिए। So let's begin. So let's go to the first idea about that how the mock test will be conducted. We will be having the exact examination like structure. OMR sheet will be given and everything will be provided, which will give you a feel of you are sitting in a real examination center, so that you will not be any much confused about giving the exams. So OMR sheets will be given, and other all the pattern which they are following in the real exam, you will be getting that. Okay, so this is the OMR and the front page that we can see here over in this slide. So let's begin with the first question. Now here I have given you the answer also, but I will explain that what is going on with the question. Here the question which has been given is, consider the following statements about nebular hypothesis of Laplace. Okay. Now this question is very general, and you can get it from any standard book of based for the UPSC. So for the reference, I will also discuss the book. आप उससे भी डिस्कस देख सकते हैं अपने आंसर के लिए. All right. So the question is, consider the following statement about the nebular hypothesis of Laplace. Clear? So first option is, there was a hot and rotating huge gaseous nebula in space. Second, there was a gradual increase in heat from outer surface of nebula through radiation. Third, nebula contracted as a result of gradual heating. Fourth, reduction in size of nebula decreased the circular velocity of nebula. Alright, now what all of these four statements which has been given is, one of them or maybe two of them is your answer. So you have to discuss, you have to think that which topic or which statement is closely related to the question. Now, here what we have asked, that which of the following statement is or are incorrect. Alright, so you have to find out which statement is incorrect. So A, option A, that is 1 only, B, 1 and 2 only, C, 2 and 4 only, and D, 2, 3 and 4. Now, we will discuss each and every statement one by one. The first statement is there, that there was a hot and rotating huge gaseous nebula in space. So obviously, according to the Laplace hypothesis regarding the formation of solar system on our universe is totally based on this. Alright, Laplace was saying that there was initially a very huge blast, and it created a bunch of gases. It released a bunch of gases, including the hard materials. And because of the heat energy released by that blast, every gases and the hard material got melted and slowly start beginning the formation of the planets or the solar system of any kind of galaxy. Alright, so our galaxy name is Milky Way galaxy. So according to the Laplace hypothesis, the first statement seems correct. Right. So second, let's see what they are talking about. There was a gradual increase in heat from outer surface of nebula through radiation. So this statement I found it totally wrong. Just you guys also imagine it. ये statement बिल्कुल गलत है. इसमें ये कहा जा रहा है कि उसका जो हीट था, आपके नेबुला का जो हीट होता है वो इंक्रीज करता गया क्योंकि आउटसाइड टेम्परेचर काफ़ी ज़्यादा था, जबकि इनर टेम्परेचर मैक्सिमम होता है, बिकॉज द ब्लास्ट हैज़ कंडक्टेड इन दैट रीजन. ऑलराइट, सो जहाँ पे आपका ब्लास्ट कंडक्ट होता है वहाँ से एनर्जी रिलीज होती है, हीट रिलीज होता है. सो डेफिनेटली योर सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग. ऑलराइट, थर्ड इज नेबुला कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ ग्रेजुअल हीटिंग. रिमेंबर, there is nothing who can contract in terms of heating. If there is a heating, there nothing can be contracted, it will expand. Okay, so the third statement, according to the physical law which we know, is incorrect. So the third option is totally incorrect. Fourth, reduction in size of nebula decrease the cellular velocity of nebula. Now, when nebula starts a reduction in size, it begins to reduce its size. The velocity of nebula also increases, not decreases. Okay, so when the reduction of size of nebula will be occur, when the materials of nebula like gases, water vapor, solid materials, those who has been released out of blast, they started contracting, they started making certain dense material by colliding or maybe by like striking each other. They are forming a kind of hard material. It means they are concentrating. So obviously the size of nebula is decreasing. So it will increase the velocity of nebula. So the fourth statement is also wrong. So that means the D should be the answer, 2, 3 and 4. Alright. So I hope you guys understand. So let's go to the next question. Next question is related to the Assam. Now here, what is the question is, which of the following is true regarding the coal found in Assam? Alright. So here also we have to find out the correct statement. All right. So first statement which has been given is coal found in Assam is mainly high sulfur contained, which is true, which is absolutely true. Assam is a subtropical climatic region. Obviously, there are so many surfacial reaction with water, because water is also chemically composed with carbon dioxide, oxygen, hydrogen. All right. So it has water. The rainwater is a solution of carbon dioxide and composed by the hydrogen and oxygen, which means it is chemically composed. Now, when these chemical composition falls on iron-based land or any other mineral-based land, this starts a certain kind of reaction. And according to our primary classes, we know that generally ammonia starts forming. All right, ammonia starts forming, and different kind of other minerals starts forming. Chemical gets evolved due to that reaction. So the first case about the Assam coal is absolutely correct, that it contains high sulfur value, which means it doesn't have very much high industrial value or economical value. Second is coal found in Assam is tertiary coal. Now we know that tertiary is a beginning of Cenozoic era. Remember guys, you need to remember all the eras from the beginning of the earth, like for Precambrian, then Mesozoic, like Cenozoic, these kind of eras you should remember, and what kind of periods were inside those era, you should remember that. So obviously the coal found in Assam or began to deposit in Assam in tertiary coal. You will get it in Tahir Ahmed's book. I will explain it in Tahir Ahmed's book. ठीक है, आप उसको ध्यान से पढ़िए. एट द सेकंड चैप्टर में आपको ये सारी डिटेल्स मिल जाएंगी. सो सेकंड इज करेक्ट, फर्स्ट इज करेक्ट. Now third, let's see, according to the Geological Survey assessment, all right, we know that 295.2 million ton we found in Assam. That is the coal deposition we found in Assam. So absolutely all of these three statements are correct. So the answer should be the C, option C. All right. So the reference to understand this question is, as I mentioned, read the second chapter of Tahir Ahmed book. All right. Second, धीरे धीरे आप ये physical geography of Assam, you can read that, you can see certain articles, and for the third statement you can go for the Geological Survey of India. All right, and you can type in search bar that the coal reserve found in Assam, that how much quantity we have, so you will get all the detailed explanation of all of these three statements, so it will be clear. So C is 1, 2 and 3. All right, so let's move to the third question. Third question is, which of the following is the headstream of Brahmaputra river? Now here it is. Now Brahmaputra river is basically meant as Tsangpo river in China. All right, so in China it is called as Tsangpo river, which is originating from Angsi glacier nearby Kailash. It is very much close to Kailash, or at the steep level of Kailash, and close to the Mansarovar lake. Now, what happens when Brahmaputra enters in Assam, or what happens when Brahmaputra enters in India? India, we all know that it enters in India, Arunachal Pradesh, and right after Arunachal, it enters in Assam. All right. So the question is not asking about Arunachal or Assam. It is asking that which of the river straight or directly connects with this Brahmaputra river at first when it enters in India. So the first river name is Dikhau, second Kameng, third Dihang, and fourth Dishang. Dikhau is also present in Arunachal, Kameng is also located in Arunachal, Dihang is also located in Arunachal, including D is also located in your Arunachal Pradesh. Now, this Dihang river is the first river who joins Brahmaputra from the left side. It means it is the left bank tributary of Brahmaputra, which is coming out of Mishimi range. Just remember, it is the far easternmost part of Arunachal, and Dihang is connecting with Brahmaputra from the eastern part. So Dihang is a eastern connective river with Brahmaputra, and it is the first one. All right, so I have mentioned about Dihang. It is a left bank tributary of Brahmaputra, left bank. All right, the additional information you should remember: the Dihang river is the left bank tributary of Brahmaputra, and it is connecting with Brahmaputra from its left side. All right, and it is originating from Mishimi range. Clear? I hope it is clear. Now let's move to the another question. Now the next question is: consider the following statement about solar system. Consider the following statement about solar system. All right, so the first statement which they have given is: our solar system contains of 8 planets. All right, see, remember guys, it is totally based on your NCERT, which is also very important for UPSC, including APSC right now, because APSC is having the same syllabus like UPSC. So definitely we should be having a habit of revising our NCERT again and again. So first option is: our solar system contains of 8 planets, which is true. All right. Second, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars are called outer planets. Let's see whether it is true or not. Outer planets are called terrestrial planets having rocks and minerals and have relatively high density. All right. Fourth, outer planets have thick atmosphere, mostly of helium and hydrogen. Now, here what they are asking from this question is: which of the following statement is correct? Now, according to the availability of statement, 2 and 3 are incorrect and 1 and 4 is correct. So answer C is the correct option. Now, let me explain this question and the statements. Solar system contains of 8 planets. Everybody knows it. We have exited our Pluto, because later on we found that it is not a planet. It is just a round planetary shaped asteroid. All right. So we excluded our Pluto. So later on we started having 8 planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, they are inner planets. They are not outer planets. So second option is incorrect. Third statement: outer planets are called terrestrial planets having rocks and minerals. Remember guys, among these 8 planets of our solar system, 4 planets are inner and 4 planets are outer. For example, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, they are the inner planet, and outer planets are your Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn. These are your outer planets, and they are divided by the thin line of asteroid belt. Remember, asteroid belt, the border between 2 types of planetary system, that is your inner planets and outer planets. In the middle we have what? Asteroid belt. All right, so the asteroid belt, we can say, is a border between the inner planets and the outer planets. All right, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So these are outer planets. Another property I will show you: the inner planets are hardcore planets, including the hard surface planets. Means, let's say if you are falling on that planet, you will be having the surface where you can put your feet, but the outer planets does not have that. If you fall in those planets, you will directly stop at the core of that planet. Means the outer planets, we call them Jovian planets. They do not contain any solid surface so that we can put our feet. All right, so they are full of gas. They are gaseous planets. They do not contain any solid surface. We cannot have any feet fallen on any surface. Okay, so third statement is totally incorrect. So fourth statement is correct. Outer planets have thick atmosphere, mostly of helium and hydrogen. Definitely you must have heard about the Jupiter, and we just 2 years back, NASA also had sent a mission called Juno mission, and UPSC already have asked that Juno mission question in mains. All right, so Juno mission's target was to understand about the Jupiter, that what this Jupiter is consist with, what the reaction levels are, what they are doing, everything. So the composition of Jupiter is purely hydrogen and helium, and they are continuously reacting. All right, so first and fourth statement are correct, and you can go for C option. All right, so option, that's why I have given, because already I have to give you the answer. All right, so explanation is important, so just listen to that explanation very carefully. All right, so to answer this question, you can go for the reference like the Majid Hussain book, like Fundamental Physical Geography. There you will get the chapter of solar system, where you can understand the basic things about the solar system. Okay, so that's very standard book for the civil service. So the next question is, consider the following statement about galaxy. Galaxy contains large number of stars. Galaxy starts to form by accumulation of water vapor in the form of large nebula. Light year is measured on time for galaxies spread over the space. All right, here what we have to understand, we have to click on is the statement which is incorrect. Which is incorrect, you have to click that will be the answer. So here the first option which they have given, the statement which they have given is galaxy contains large number of stars. Yeah, true, very much true. We have more than 3 million numbers of stars in Milky Way galaxy only. There are more than 3 million galaxies in the world, which is being estimated by the scientists, by the astrologists. All right, so now they have been saying that it is not our galaxy who has been existing in this universe. All right, there are multi galaxies are available in this universe. Just because we don't know that. All right, but there are millions types of galaxies, and there are billions types of stars available in every type of galaxy. So the first statement is correct. Second, which they are saying, it's not water vapor. Water vapor is not only the matter which forms nebula. Nebula is composed of various kinds of material, like different kind of minerals, all right, different kind of particles. So the statement is wrong accordingly. Third, light year is measured on the time for galaxies spread over the space. No. It is the distance we measure, like the falling of this light, right, and how much time that light will take to reach out from the starting point to the another point. So it is totally wrong. So the answer should be C. The 2 and 3 statement is purely wrong. So next question is, consider the following statement about the terrestrial and Jovian planet. As I mentioned earlier, Jovian planets are what? Jovian planets are the outer planets, those who are composed of gases. Now, terrestrial planets are the hardcore surface planet where we can put our feet. I have already explained that. All right. So inner 4 planets, which are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. These are the solid surface planet. If we fall on those, we can put our feet. All right. So Jovian planet understood, terrestrial planet understood. Let's begin with the statements what they have given. First statement is, as terrestrial planets are formed in close vicinity of parent star, whereas Jovian are far away from it. All right. Let's see. Solar winds, which are strong, blew away lots of gases particles from Jovian planets, which is totally wrong, because it is intact. The gaseous particles are intact with the Jovian planets. The process through which gases were poured from exterior to interior is called degassing. All right, here what we need to do is to find a correct statement. Accordingly, the first statement is purely correct, that terrestrial planets are formed in close vicinity because they have to get dense. Then only they will have a pure hard surface. If the density is very less, we cannot put our feet on those low density. We cannot put our feet on water. We cannot put our feet on air. Only we can put our feet on solid surface. Right? Here we can understand from the basic physics that if we want to walk on certain surface, we need a higher density, definitely. So terrestrial planet has the hard surface, which means they have the higher density than Jovian planets. So the Jovian planets are far away and they do not form any kind of surface. So the first statement is correct. So the answer should be the D, that is 1 only. That 2 and 3 are totally wrong. Alright, the process of degassing is means interior to exterior hona chahiye, which is what is they are mentioning is exterior to interior, which is absolutely wrong. Let's go to the next question. The terracotta industry in Assam has developed in. Terracotta, we all know that, जो हम उन्हें हिंदी में कुम्हार कहते हैं. कुम्हार क्या होते हैं? Those who make utensils, kitchen utensils out of clay. वो एक चरखा घुमा देते हैं and they make clay से घड़ा बना देते हैं. We preserve water in that घड़ा, right? We all must have heard that. So Assam also has the very good amount of clay depositions due to the sedimentary cut off, erosion and all, due to Brahmaputra. And that's why terracotta industry has a good future in Assam. And the basic roots of terracotta industry which has been established in Assam is actually stable in Dhubri district. So Dhubri district, we all know that it is the absolute lower district of Assam, alright, Dhubri district, which is connected with West Bengal border. So Dhubri district is the correct answer. It is factual, but you need to remember about this first. Now, next is consider the following statement about the period and major events. Now, first, Cambrian terrestrial life, Devonian reptilians, and Miocene Homo sapiens. Remember, Miocene era, Miocene is a epoch. Actually, we divide epoch. First, we say era, which is of million and billions of years era. Second, the subdivision of era is period, and the further subdivision of period is epoch. So Miocene is a epoch. Miocene comes under Cenozoic era and tertiary period of Cenozoic era. Alright, so Miocene does not contain your Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens developed right after the Quaternary period started. Quaternary period started. So you can say Pleistocene epoch was the first beginning of the evolution of humans from Homo sapiens to Homo sapiens sapiens, and or you can say Homo sapiens. All right. So the third option is wrong. Absolutely, Devonian. Devonian is a part of your Mesozoic. All right. In this era, you will not get any reptiles evolution in this particular area. The reptilian birth or the evolution of reptiles were actually started in right after your Triassic period. All right, Triassic period is your Mesozoic era part. So reptile, which is absolutely wrong now. Triassic period was the beginning before the Jurassic period. All right, it is a part of Mesozoic, although but simply reptiles started evoluted in your Triassic period. Okay, so second option is wrong. Third option, that Cambrian was started in right after the Precambrian era. Precambrian era, which I can say it is almost 1500 million years back. So 1500 million years back, it was not life who got started. Life ने start नहीं या territorial life start नहीं हुआ था. Yes, there might have been some water life, the cells beginning, but they were not territorial life. All right. So Cambrian era is the very first beginning of the Earth. So that part there we do not get any life evidences. So terrestrial life cannot exist within Cambrian period. So that is why all of these three options are wrong, and the answer should be the D, none of the above. Okay, now let's see the next question. Consider the following statements. Origin of the life is a physical reaction. Second, the record of life that existed on this planet in different period is found in rocks in the form of fossils. Alright. Third, it can be assumed that life began to evolve sometimes 800 million years ago. Alright. As I mentioned, obviously territorial life was not existing at that Cambrian era, but definitely the life was started like thriving inside the water. So we all know that from the life theory that first life begins from the water, right? So they were not territorial life. So the first statement looks very much incorrect. The origin of life was not a physical reaction, it was a chemical reaction. Remember that. It was a chemical evolution. The theory of chemical evolution given by the Mr. Haldane. There was a name of scientist called Haldane. He gave this theory about the chemical evolution and how the life changed, how the inorganic material got converted or evoluted into organic material. For your information, let me give you an example. The example which we can see for this chemical reaction evolution from inorganic to the organic life was that initially when the earth was consist of various kind of gases due to the volcanic eruption, there was a certain type of gases like hydrogen, cyanide, alright, water vapor. These kind of gases were available at the beginning of the earth. Now when these gases came in certain level of temperature, they started reaction. They started evoluting, and when they evolved, they produced your amino acid, nucleic acid, alright. These kind of organic material has been formed. Alright. So nucleic acid is purely what? Is a organic material, organic chemical. We all know DNA is formed by the nucleic acid. Okay. Second is amino acid is a very much simpler complex form of protein. So we call in scientific way a protein as a amino acid. Alright. So inorganic to organic. So the first option cannot be correct. So first option is incorrect. Second option is absolutely correct. Obviously fossils we found on rocks, the previous life evidence. So second option is purely correct. Third, it can be assumed, yes, definitely the life was existing in the water area, but slowly they got evolved and started developing or spreaded over the territory over the territory, and they become the territorial life, right? So second and third option are correct, and the first statement is wrong. So the answer here is the one only, because what they have asked is which of the following statement is incorrect. All right, so let's go to the next question. Consider the following statements about the earth. Direct source of earth include meteors, gravitational field, seismic activity, magnetic field, which provide information about earth. Second option is indirect sources of earth include volcanoes, rocks forming. Okay, now here what we need to find out is which statement is incorrect. Alright, here what I see is both statements are incorrect. Now let me explain that. Now they have just wrote reciprocal. Alright, it is just opposite. The second option, the first which they are saying direct source of about knowing the earth. Alright, they are calling it meteors, gravitational field. No, they are indirect sources. Okay, they are indirect sources. Obviously they are sources to know about the earth structure, physical applies, physical fundamental rules, physical laws, forces, those who are working around this earth or inside the earth. So they are the indirect sources to know about the earth. But what are the direct sources to know about the earth? Is directly volcanoes and rocks. So both statements here, in second statement they have said volcanoes as an indirect source, and they have said meteors, gravitational field as a direct source, which is totally opposite. Volcanoes are the direct source, and these activities, seismic activity, magnetic field, they are all the indirect sources. So both statements are wrong accordingly. So the answer should be C. Now the next question is, consider the following statement. Temperature and pressure decreases with the increasing of distance from the surface towards the interior of earth. Second is density of material decreases with depth. All right, which seems like very correct. Let's see further. Meteor are indirect sources which provide information about earth. All right, what they are asking is which of the following is or are correct option. All right, so let's see. The pressure decreases with the increasing of distance and from the surface towards the interior of earth. No, it's absolutely wrong. Pressure actually increases because the density gets increased. So the pressure is very high. Alright, so the first statement is wrong. Second statement, density of material decreases with depth. It is also absolutely wrong, because density of material increases with the depth. Because as far as they will be experiencing pressure, the atomic particles will get close and the density will boost. Density will increase. So second statement is absolutely incorrect. Third statement, meteor are indirect source of provide information about Earth. That is fine, that is correct. Third option, third statement is absolutely correct. So the answer of this question will be the C, that is third only. Okay. So let's go to the next question. Consider the following statement.